His statement will be atop all the papers contained therein. May the witness be sworn in.
Please. If you may state your full name to the commission.
My name is Robert Muchkasira.
Robert Muchkasira, do you swear that the evidence which you are going to give in this commission are this required shall be the truth? Nothing. Do you swear the regulations in this way?
Thank you, Mr. Muchkasira. Thank you very much for submitting yourself to this commission of inquiry set up by His Excellency to inquire into the affairs of the Harare City Council. Might I just inform you that you are not in a trial, you are not an accused person, you are in this enviable position whereby you are here voluntarily to impart to the commission your knowledge pertaining to their terms of reference. You have taken the oath, and might I inquire if you understand the full implications of the oath you have taken? It requires that you speak the truth, and should you deviate from that, consequences may follow, which are similar to those appearing in other fora, such as trial and other fora. It is not a threat. It is merely to ensure that you are well informed of your rights as you seek to. Have you understood?
I understood.
My short address. You represent Borrowdale Residents Association.
Yes, I do.
You reside in the Borrowdale Brook.
I reside in Borrowdale, yes, in Ward 18.
Let me read the first sentence of your affidavit. Ward 18, I assume Ward 18 is yours.
Yes.
That's where you come from.
That's where I'm coming from.
Ward 18 and its townships are currently the prime residential and commercial locations of Harare. This has given rise to unprecedented demand for land and properties in the affluent locations. We feel the local authority has awarded, distributed, and sold land and properties arbitrarily, as well as indiscriminately. This is how you begin your affidavit. I want you to proceed from there. And tell the commissioners, have your affidavit, but this is your chance to relate your story, and you may refer to it at will.
Thank you so much. As representative of the residents of Ward 18, is represented by what is dubbed Borrowdale Residents and Ratepayers Association, BRRA. I have been mandated by the residents to highlight a number of areas that have been that we have or we think have been missed by our local authority in terms of managing our area. And as I alluded to in the preamble there, that we are a prime location, prime residential area, and also prime commercial area. We have many individuals who are seeking residency in our area. And because of that, we have seen a number of inordinate infractions in terms of where people are getting space to build, where people are getting space to develop commercial properties. One of the very prominent features of our area of residency is the environmental setup, where there are many rivers, many preserves, and a number of water sources that have since been impacted upon by a number of individuals and corporates seeking to establish themselves in the Borrowdale area. And among these, as I have stated in my on number 2 in the submissions that I made to the inquiry, we have a residential development that has since been paved on a road, on an area called Exwall and Sudley, Edstone and Coventry roads. This naturally was a waterway, and in times of good rains, you would actually have springs of water and continuous flows of water in that particular area. But this, according to some investigations that we have conducted, mandated me to be here, has revealed that these pieces of land have since been subdivided into those smaller sections, and they belong, or they are alleged to belong to some senior City of Harare staff. We include the town clerk, Ozaya Chisango, the director of works, engineer Chawatama, and the city planner. This has not been established yet whether the city planner is there. The district officer is also said to have a stand there. District officer Leah Katibu, she's said to have a stand there, and other officials whose names we have not been advised of as yet. But that small piece of land has been divided among them, but it is, to the surprise of residents, it is a prime wetland, and residents have for a long time now, since January 2018, been submitting petitions against any development in that piece or space of land. And I have here with me a petition that was presented to Parliament in January of 2018 by the same residents of that area. And just recently, they have also done a petition which they submitted to the city of Harare on the 24th of June.
I do not have these in the files.
But would they have read them to us then also?
Yes, I was going to request that.
Yes, so the residents are actually in wonder of what is happening. Once they have petitioned something, they expect a response. But one of the major issues that have been experienced by residents in terms of dealing with the city of Harare is the unresponsiveness of the institution. There is lack of response to the petitions and pleas and inquiries by residents. And the next thing that you see is a development, which even when you raise concerns about a petition against, they still continue to build. And highlighted in my submissions is the lack of residents' participation in matters or changes that eventually affect them. The city hardly involves the residents. If they do, it's under very discrete methods which residents may not be in a position to have exposure to or to understand. But some of these developments, these are wetlands, these are waterways that have characterized the Borrowdale area. And because of that, there is a sentimental attachment by the residents to these areas. And once they see some developments, they begin to worry, they begin to inquire. And we always expect as a local authority that they should at least consult the residents, allow the residents to participate in all the decision-making processes towards awarding permits or allowing any kind of development in a residential area. At the same time, similarly, we have a development that has come up at the corner of Harare Drive and Leamington in Greystone Park, which is still Leamington, Leamington Road.
The development.
Yes, it's a commercial development. Harare Drive and Leamington Road. And so this development is in a zone that is not designated for commercial developments, and it's a warehouse built steel and we used to call it zinc. I know they call it corrugated. Corrugated roof material, and this was built without the knowledge of the district office. And when residents started inquiring about this structure that was coming up, our visit to the district office revealed that they were not aware of such a development. It is only later that the person who did the plan visited the office to advise that what I see happening at the particular property is not what I designed. I designed an extension of the house, not the construction of a warehouse. So we alerted, residents alerted the district officer, who sent a team to investigate, and indeed they did not have any documents pertaining to that development, and it was only established through the interactions and communication that a senior development control officer, who are the officers who are supposed to be monitoring and regulating developments within that area. That particular development control officer was the project manager for that construction. So this building,
Wait. Is your evidence to the effect that a city council employee whose designation you have explained to the commission was also privately the project manager for that project?
Yes, indeed.
You established that?
We established that.
We have a name.
I don't have his name, unfortunately, but I'm aware of his designation.
Can I get the name?
Yes, I can.
Those are not made to the
Yes, I
They will whatever authority when it arrives.
Yes, I know. So this building has since been constructed and finished and was already labeled, ready for occupation and use. But the petitions of residents and the inquiries of residents have, we assume, have caused the delay in the assumption of activities at that particular site. So our inquiries with the councillor, she went deeper with the matter to City of Harare officials. It has since been established that there is a demolition order that has been issued concerning that particular building, but it has not been enforced. It's now 3 months down the line. That demolition order has not been enforced, and we are wondering why the enforcement is being delayed. And of course, residents have fears that they are just trying to buy time and then eventually make use of the property without the consent and the approval of residents.
All right. Where did you establish that a demolition order had been given?
In the last 2 weeks.
And from where did you get the information?
From the council.
What is the name?
Matika.
Have the residents themselves approached the city council about these concerns?
Yes.
Outside the petition?
Yes, we have approached. I, as the chairman, have written to the city of Harare, to the district officer, and also copied the director of works to establish the circumstances behind the approval and certification of that particular construction project.
Do you have copies of your correspondence that you refer to?
Yes, I do have, but unfortunately not here.
Are you
I'm willing to
able to avail that?
Yes.
Please do. Carry on.
And on number 4, this, I would want to call it an assumption, but it's one of the things that we've been trying to investigate and to establish as to how things are happening in our area. It has come to our attention that there are some properties that have been constructed and occupied, just like the one I mentioned in number 3, which are actually dwelling places and industrial or commercial places that have been constructed, and occupation of them or use of them assumed without approval from the city of Harare.
When you're saying number 3, what are you referring to?
I'm referring to the submissions I made to the commission.
So, can I ask you?
We are looking at your affidavit. Are you using it?
Some other document.
Yes.
I have another document.
Or
Yes.
No, it's not affidavit. No, I do not have.
the issue said already the applicant that is for reports. Isn't that correct?
No, what I have here is a document headed Borrowdale Residents and Welfare Association. There's another one that says Commission of Inquiry into Harare City Council, affidavit, Robert Mchasi. You have that?
That's what we have.
Right. The one that he is referring to, I do not have.
Is that an annex? Can you show them what? Show them what
Because I do not have the actual affidavit with me.
No, don't clear it without telling. How many copies?
I think the issue is this document is derived from the affidavit is derived from the document. What is saying is the sequence of the affidavit. But where it says number 2 is number 7, number 3 is number 8, that's how it's going. We're able to follow if you look at it that way.
Okay, thank you very much. So number 3 is number 8.
Number 4 is number 8. Now we're going to number 4, aren't we?
Yes, we're going to number 4.
That's number 8.
That's number 4.
Thank you for the erudite clarification, Commissioner.
Thank you so much. So our concern has been that the proliferation of such developments are now weighing on other residents who are compliant to the City of Harare requirements and regulations, because there's an aspect of regularization that is one of their policies, where a person can construct a structure and then later on seek authorization from the City of Harare. They refer to it as regularization, and I'm not quite privy to the steps towards that regularization, but we feel that it's been abused by a number of individuals who just come into the area, even with ownership of a piece of land, they just construct. Right now, we have a case that is before the courts on Sudley Close, also in Greystone Park, where an individual came to develop cluster houses, and they reached to almost completion stage, 80% towards completion, without the requisite permit from the city of Harare. And when the residents petitioned against this, no documentation could be attained from the city of Harare. Hence, the residents had to take the matter of court, and the matter is before the courts right now. But while the matter was in court, the permit was still issued by the Director of Works. I'm not privy to the court processes, but I assumed as a resident that once a matter is before the courts, all else ceases to progress until the matter has been resolved. So the developer now has a permit while the case is still pending before the courts.
Who is the Director of Works?
Mr. Chawatana.
Let me get the sequence right. Construction started on a site without any permit supporting it.
No permit.
Petitions were then written to the City Council on it.
Yes.
No action was taken.
No action was taken.
Construction continued.
Yes.
And the residents took the matter to court.
Yes.
Whilst that was happening, a permit was then issued.
Yes, correct.
By the Director of Works.
Correct.
Any idea of the time frame pertaining to these events?
I did an affidavit for the court documents in May of last year, of 2023.
Yes.
Yes, so the matter has been before the courts since then.
And when was the permit awarded?
The permit was awarded 2 months ago, in June.
June 2024.
Yes.
That is 14 months.
Yes.
14 months. 13 months.
14 months.
You have a copy of your affidavit to the courts?
Yes, I can acquire that.
You can avail it.
Yes.
Thank you very much. Carry on, Mr. Muskasila.
I've also listed on my document, it's number 5, but it starts with on outspan road in Greystone Park.
That's number 9 on the affidavit.
Yeah, it's also disturbing that there is a development, as I mentioned earlier, that most of our issues circle around environmental issues. When construction is ongoing in an environmentally sensitive area, residents take it seriously and they raise concerns. So at the intersection of Outspan and Gaydon Road, there's been a residential development and the road construction right next and across a river. And we have raised our concerns with our district office. Information I got from the district officer, which is not in writing but verbal, was that when she inquired from the town planner, who is Mr. Nyabezi, on why there was such a development, she was told verbally that this issue is a ministerial directive and she must not worry about it. So there are developments there right now, but the information that we've gathered is that there are 2 gentlemen who appear to be land barons and are caretaking the developments around that area, whose names have been submitted to me just as Pikirai and Jimmy Shumba, who are caretaking the developments at that particular site. And the number of Houses have already been built, roads have been constructed right next to a river and also across the river onto the other side. And this has raised concerns among residents because these are the waterways we've been talking about. And as you may know, why residents will be concerned about these waterways is because we have not had water in most areas of Borrowdale for over 2 decades. There has been no water and people rely on boreholes. And once you have such activities of this magnitude, boreholes tend to dry. And once your borehole is dried up, your next reliable water supply source will be purchasing water from water merchants. And this is quite unreasonable because it's $35 for 5,000 liters of water, and it's quite unsustainable for any a normal family.
Have you seen any or sought to see any paperwork legitimizing this development?
The only port of call that we had as residents was the district officer. She's our first port of call, but she has not been able to produce any of those documents, which is something that I will then explain later as I end when you allow me to end my presentation of how we think this is the operations of the city of Harare are skewed and affect development in our area.
Yes, you keep referring to the district officer and you refer to her as a she. What is her name?
She's Leah Katibu.
Leah Katibu. Very well, proceed.
And another area of concern has been around the enforcement of either resolutions of the city of Harare or orders from the city of Harare or general enforcement of bylaws. There's been a general laxity or incapacity or collusion between the perpetrators of illegal activities or what were soon to be illegal activities and the enforcers. I will give you a scenario where, as a residents association, we have provided resources to the municipality to effect enforcement exercises against vendors operating from undesignated places and other illegal operations. And we have gone to the extent of fueling their vehicles, providing earth-moving equipment where it is needed. And those efforts of the residents are often reciprocated by city municipal police officers who inform the illegal traders and illegal vendors of an impending exercise. By the time the enforcers get to the site, they will have vacated or they do not appear at all. So our enforcement and our contribution towards that enforcement has gone to naught as things never change. So we are very worried about that state of affairs. It looks like there's a disconnect between what they refer to as a development control department and also the municipal police. There's a disconnect that exists there. We have had, along those lines, we have had a development, or rather a venue that was created by an individual called Dr. Chikaka. It is referred to as the Prayer Mountain. It's on Croyle Road, and this is supposed to be a residential property, but she has converted it to an events venue where weddings, church services, and any other events are held throughout the week. And residents along or in the vicinity of that prayer mountain have been raising concerns with the city of Harare. And I believe there was a resolution made by council some years back, which I did not get access to, as it was said to have been drowned by the flooding that happened at the townhouse. So we couldn't get access to that resolution, a council resolution that gave an order for those activities to stop. And residents have been raising concerns, they've been going to the police, they've been going to the district office, they've written petitions against it. And this has persisted against it not being suitable for such activities as it was being used for. And efforts by residents have not been reciprocated by any suitable action by the city of Harare. So we later took up the matter again with council until another resolution was made in this is in June. Another resolution was made by council for all the activities to stop. And I also have a petition here from the residents which I'll avail to the commission that the residents made against those operations. So they petitioned council to enforce their own resolution. But this is now 2 months down the line. That enforcement has still not been done, and residents, this is a very, I've been there personally, it's a very noisy place because they, several churches rent out the various thatched structures within that complex. And each church is doing their own thing. Others play music, others pray aloud. It's really chaotic, and some residents too, in fact, have sold their properties on the basis of those activities at that place. They cannot stand the level of movement, the activities, and the noise, which has really affected even the values of their properties.
Do you have a copy of the resolution?
Yes, I have a copy of that resolution.
So please avail it to ask for online transmission to the commission as soon as practical. Please proceed.
Yes. And also, there are residents who took up not custodianship, but they requested to be caretakers of a certain preserve within the Greyston Park area. This is another environmental issue. And they entered into an MOU with the city some years back, and they've been taking care of this environmentally sensitive area. There's a dam which on a number of occasions residents go to, and they enjoy the fresh air. They walk their dogs. It's like a park. And I remember at one time when we had good rains, a crocodile was actually seen in that dam. Something that we appreciate as residents as a sign of good biodiversity of our area. And we have several species of birds, many species of plants, indigenous and exotic plants in that particular place, and it's just a pleasure for residents. And there are some residents who are taking it upon themselves to manage and to caretake that particular place. So they actually fenced it off, and school children would come, they would be taught about the various species of trees and the different kinds of birds that patronize that preserve, and also enjoy the natural setup that was there. And this place The MOU has since expired, and attempts by the residents to get renewal of that MOU have not yielded any fruit. So what is now their concern is that now some activities have now started to happen within that particular preserve. One, boreholes have been sunk, affecting the water levels. Actually, as I speak right now, the dam has dried up. Boreholes have been sunk, and we thought this was going to be the responsibility of the city of Harare to look into this matter and to get to the depths of it, but they always leave it to the residents to go to the Environmental Management Agency, to go to the Ngui catchment, who are the water authority of that particular area. And
who has sunk the boat?
some senior government official will live. I think they tried to get water from. They tried to get water from the properties that they couldn't. So they sunk this bore and dug trenches right up to their homes. I may not be at liberty to mention the names in the public forum, but I do have the names of those who have done that.
All right, will you provide the names?
Yes, I'll provide the names. So our concern is that many of these things happen under the purview of the city of Harare, who are supposed to be the regulating authority of all spaces within their jurisdiction. And we are very much concerned by the laxity and lack of duty consciousness around that area. Even when residents are in a position to assist with their own resources, there are times that we feel there are other interests around some of the areas that we're trying to protect and to preserve. Also, in that same space, that is at the corner, at the intersection of Gaydon Road and Ettington. I'm sure there's an annexure on your. Let me just refer to it. Annexure 1, yes.
What you talk about? Gaydon, Binton, Eddington, and
Wetlands, yes. You will see, if you peruse through that, you'll see that there's a description of certain properties.
Yes.
Yes, that have since been transacted on by the city of Harare, but we have reason to believe that some of these developments were not done appropriately. And even the transactions, we have question marks about how, if you can see right at the end of there's a complaint and application. The management team of the Greystone Park Nature Preserve intercepted a borehole drilling rig that had moved onto stand 561 and began drilling in the protected area. Zimbabwe National Water Authority were alerted and attended the scene. Agents asked the driller to provide permits allowing the drilling, which they were not able to provide. So they were ordered by Zimbabwe agents to leave. By this stage, the borehole rig had already completed its drilling. At a later date, the drilling company returned, now with a permit and a new stand number, which was not there before. Stand 908 on Gaydon Road. How was it possible for part of stand 561 to be subdivided without the knowledge of the Greystone Nature Preserve Association? We had a valid memorandum of agreement lease agreement for the stand. Coming back to the issue of residents' consultation, Furthermore, no consultations were held with the GNPA. The following abnormalities are noted. The stand is within 30 meters of the high water level mark. Subdivision procedures do not seem to have been followed. Trenching for the pipeline for the bore runs through stand 561. And this particular stand we are talking about, as we speak, they have already constructed a wall, and the wall is hardly 6 meters from a riverbed. And again, this has environmental effects which we are concerned about as residents. And we have listed some of the developments that have been happening there. There has been no consultation of residents, and they have not engaged residents to participate in the decision making of the changes that have prevailed in those areas.
It's chaotic, isn't it? It's chaotic.
It's very chaotic. It's very chaotic. It's unlucky to say the least.
Yeah.
At the back of your presentation, I see a memorandum. The one presentation.
The Grace Department of Approval.
Yes, I'll give you my dossier so you can just go through them and tell us what they are. Chawatama is that.
I think, yeah, these I may not be privy to, but I think they were collected by the investigating officers.
You want me to say something?
Yes, I don't see it in his statement. Yeah, I don't see it in his statement, but it's in his document. So I thought it might be of relevance.
So this is the director.
Yes, I wish to tender these documents pertaining to his evidence, the affidavit and the annexed exhibit. It's 43. Now, is there anything else you might want to convey to the commissioners that you haven't mentioned?
Just to say that this is just a pin drop of the number of infractions and irregularities prevailing in our ward. Had we more time, we would have conducted more and thorough investigations around certain developments that we've been mentioning. But we know for sure that there are a number of residents or residences that are not, that the city council is not aware of, developments that just sprouted, like these examples that I gave of development that sprout and then people later on seek regularization. I would suggest to the commission that maybe the district officer be called in to explain or to sensitize the commission on some of those developments that I'm talking about that have been that are already in operation, that are already been occupied, but without the relevant documentation, relevant certification for their occupancy. And this is worrying because we know for certain such people do not pay rates. So other residents are paying for their bills. Refuse collection, paying for all other facilities that they should also be paying for. So we have a very low compliance in terms of rates collection, yet we see we have about 22,000 households, but there's a very low compliance rate. So we've been trying to dig deep into what really is causing this low compliance in terms of rates collection, which again is another matter why the city is failing to get residents to comply to rates. We have the problem that there are big names with huge amounts that needs to be retrieved from them in terms of rates, which I'm also in a position to reveal to the commission if it will help in any way. They are owing close to, one is owing about 3.4 million in rates, and these are some of the things that are drawing back our ward. So as much as we want to see development and transformation and its impact on the human element, we fail because there are people lagging behind with their obligations as residents. So we, if need be, we can provide more information after having done a number of investigations, but the few that we have highlighted, I think can open a can of worms and actually help us to regularize the operations of the city of Harare within our ward.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chikasiba. That will be all from me, but the commissioners may have questions.
Thank you very much. The Harare report, exhibit 43, then after the annexes, information has been dated the 21st of June.
Just for clarity's purpose, there's an annex attached to affidavit that speaks of stands number 91982 up until 921. We have the
Yes, I do have a copy of that.
A question was posed with respect to agreement of sale attached to affidavit. Would that have anything to do with these stands?
Who is that agreement of sale?
It says Chawatama.
These must be the stands on Exo Road. It's not on the gate on board.
It's not part of those.
It's not part of those. I'm not privy to how that information was collated because I did take along with me investigation officer appointed by the commission to go and seek those documents. I'm sure they did it after we visited the district office.
So as far as you're aware, you don't know how these are part of the funds?
These are part of the actual development.
May I be of assistance? The investigating officer is just helping on this. These documents from the memorandum represent they are the results of investigations pertaining to this complaint. And the memorandum of agreement of sale constitutes one of the sale agreements done between city council officials and the city of Harare. So, Engineer Chawatama was allocated a stand where there is this complaint. And these are documents pertaining to these deaths.
Thank you for the clarification.
Sorry, may I also add?
Yes?
May I also add another development, whose documents I think I did mention in the affidavit. I mean, whose details I did mention in the affidavit, where there's a piece of land about 4,000 square meters in the Greystone Park shopping center. This might need to be investigated. Greystone Park shopping center is at the intersection of Stonechat and Gaydon Road. It is alleged to belong to the to engineer Mabena Moyo. Mabena Moyo, who is the former town clerk. That piece of land, which to us as residents was meant to be a public space. But it has since now been occupied, and we don't know how much of the land he occupies, but we know the land on which the shopping center is about 4,000 square meters. So it has been lying idle for quite some time, and has since been occupied by small players, and preliminary investigations indicate that Mr. Mabena, Engineer Mabena owns that piece of land.
Thank you, Chairman. Further.
Just to take from Ms. Pasira. Yes. What services are being offered by the Borrowdale District Office? What services do they offer to the residents?
They are generally the oversight office for all the activities of Borrowdale. They have been, they are mandated to provide services managing our refuse collection, managing water infrastructure, and building plans. Well, generally, it's all service delivery issues. They are mandated to manage those, and to some extent, they have been of assistance, but some things beyond their control, like the provision of water, is beyond them. It is according to the city of Harare, it's a global issue. But at the same time, we don't think so. I think it's just a matter of workmanship. Because if you raise serious complaints about water, some residents have threatened to take the city council to court. And right now, as we speak, those residents are getting water. So, general talk has been saying that they assume that Borrowdale people are wealthy enough to buy water, so they do not prioritize the provision of water. So it's really beyond the district office. But all other matters that we raise with the district office, they try as much as they can to intervene and to offer reasonable solutions.
Any payments being made to that office?
Yes, most payments, the rates are being made to the district office.
Anything else? Anything else?
I think I'm not exhausted, but I think for now,
Yeah. How long have you been in this city of Harare?
I've lived in the city of Harare since 1979. Yeah. Borrowdale since 1991.
Are you satisfied with the service you're getting from the city of Harare?
Not at all. Having lived through the different dispensations of the city, pre-colonial period, post-colonial period, and the current situation, things are very different. How the city council used to conduct its business in a professional, transparent, and responsive manner has since changed without compulsion. They will not do anything at all. So we are, as a resident and on a personal level, I am totally unsatisfied with the situation. And the effort that residents have now to exert in order to get services is not correct. It's something out of this.
Thank you very much. For helping us. Thank you.
Thank you.
You may be excused.
Thank you so much. May I take the document?